Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's explainer where, well, we're basically going to completely shatter some of the most deeply ingrained knowledge you have. As you can probably guess from the bold retro print vibe we've got going on today, we are going back to basics. We're exploring the illusion of common sense, unmasking the world's absolute most persistent scientific myths. These are things you probably consider hard facts, but as we're going to see, the world is full of accepted truths that are, well, anything but true.
I mean, just imagine it for a second. Imagine discovering that the very things you've believed since you were a little kid were never actually true. Think about those facts that have been repeated for literally generations. The ones you were taught in elementary school, the ones your parents shared with you, the stuff repeated endlessly in movies and just accepted as undeniable truth by millions of people all around the world. What if the fundamental building blocks of your everyday knowledge were just built on a foundation of pure fiction? And I'm not talking about being slightly off base here. I mean completely wrong. Total fabrications. When scientists actually sat down and investigated these so-called facts, the reality turned out to be very, very different from the common sense we've all accepted. So in this explainer, we're exposing these myths one by one. And I promise you, by the time we hit the end of this, you might just start questioning literally everything you think you know.
Chapter 1. Your body is a mystery. Let's start with the closest thing to us, the biology we all think we understand so perfectly. You have heard this your entire life. Never skip breakfast. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, right? It sounds like timeless, undeniable health advice, passed down from doctors and grandmothers alike. But get this phrase wasn't born in a scientific lab. It didn't come from some prestigious medical journal. It became popular largely because, well, food companies really wanted to sell you breakfast products. It's actually one of the most wildly successful marketing campaigns in human history. The rigid rule of forcing down a meal at 7 a.m. just isn't a universal requirement. Modern research actually shows that your health depends far more on your overall diet than on forcing a meal down the second you wake up. Now, some people absolutely thrive with breakfast, and hey, that's great. But others, they feel way better skipping it entirely. Millions of people today practice intermittent fasting, skipping morning meals completely, and they are perfectly healthy. The reality is remarkably simple here. Your body cares way more about what you eat than exactly when you eat it. Okay, prepare yourself for this one. We've all been taught in elementary school that humans have exactly 5 senses: sight, hearing, taste, smell, and touch. It's a neat, simple little list, but the reality, it's far more fascinating. Scientists now recognize that we possess more than 20 distinct sensory systems. Like, you have a highly complex balance system keeping you upright. You have proprioception, which is a sense that tells you exactly where your body parts are without you even having to look. You have dedicated systems to detect temperature, pain, hunger, thirst, even internal body conditions. The world you experience is just so much richer than that simple 5 senses story suggests.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is it's a myth we can physically see. Seriously, look at your arm right now. Your veins appear blue. So naturally, the assumption is that the blood inside them before it hits oxygen must also be blue. Nope, total myth. Human blood is always unconditionally red. Oxygen-rich blood appears brighter, and oxygen-poor blood is a bit darker, but it never, ever becomes blue. The blue appearance of your veins, it's simply a clever optical illusion created by how light interacts with your skin and tissue. You're basically looking through a biological filter, not a window into blue blood.
And speaking of biological myths, how about this generational fear? We've all been warned. Never ever wake a sleepwalker because the shock could cause a heart attack or serious psychological harm. Well, fortunately, that is completely false. A sleepwalker might feel super confused or heavily startled when you wake them up, sure, but waking them isn't inherently dangerous. The real danger, the true hazard here, comes from allowing them to just keep wandering. Sleepwalkers can accidentally injure themselves walking downstairs, wandering outside, or getting into other dangerous situations. Safety matters way more than an old wives' tale, for sure. Chapter 2, Animal Kingdom Fake News. Okay, it's time to clear the names of several heavily misunderstood creatures. This is probably one of the most terrifying myths ever invented. The widely repeated fact that you swallow 8 spiders every single year while sleeping. Just hearing that number probably gives some of you the chills, but take a deep breath because it's totally false. Think about it from the spider's perspective for a second. Spiders deliberately avoid large, noisy creatures. To a spider, your heavy breathing, your snoring, tossing and turning, the intense body heat, it makes you one of the absolute least attractive places it could possibly visit. Your mouth is essentially a giant vibrating danger zone. The odds of swallowing even one spider accidentally are incredibly, vanishingly small. Next up is a myth that genuinely sounds so logical, you really can't blame people for believing it. Camels live in the brutal desert. They have giant humps on their backs. So surely that's where they keep their water, right? It makes sense. A built-in water backpack. Actually, scratch that, no. Those humps are made mostly of fat. That fat acts as a vital energy reserve to help camels survive incredibly harsh conditions when food is super scarce. Their amazing ability to survive without water doesn't come from giant tanks on their backs. It comes from highly specialized microscopic adaptations throughout their entire bodies, especially in their blood cells and kidneys.
Oh, movies absolutely love this next one. A single drop of blood hits the vast ocean, and suddenly a mile away, sharks lock on like underwater heat-seeking missiles and appear out of nowhere. Well, the reality is much less dramatic. Yes, sharks have an excellent sense of smell, but they don't possess supernatural abilities. Scent detection heavily relies on water currents, distance, and environmental conditions. I mean, it takes time for a scent to travel. They are undeniably impressive predators, but they are not the immediate, infallible underwater blood detectors that Hollywood wants you to believe. When you picture a chameleon, you probably imagine a living camouflage machine, perfectly blending into a checkerboard or a vibrant leafy branch. But color changes in chameleons are rarely about hiding. They're primarily about communication, emotions, and temperature regulation. A chameleon will change its color when it's stressed, excited, feeling threatened, or trying to attract a mate. They are essentially wearing their emotions right on their skin. The color shifts tell a story to other chameleons. They aren't just some magic attempt to disappear into the background. And rounding out our animal myths is the classic trope of the wise old owl. With their large eyes and incredibly serious expressions, owls certainly look like nature's stoic philosophers. But appearances can be very misleading. When it comes to actual brain power and problem solving, other birds drastically outperform them. The real bird geniuses, crows and ravens. They actively use tools, they can remember specific human faces for years, and they solve incredibly complex multi-step puzzles. Owls are brilliant silent hunters, absolutely, but they are definitely not the smartest birds in the sky.
Chapter 3: Nature's Biggest Misconceptions. We've looked at biology and animals. Now let's take a look at the physical world around us. Lightning never strikes the same place twice. It's a beautiful saying, isn't it? It sounds poetic, offering this nice sense of comfort that bad things won't keep happening in the exact same spot. Unfortunately, nature absolutely does not care about our poetry. Lightning does not follow sayings. It follows the hard, cold laws of physics. Lightning strikes the exact same locations repeatedly, all the time. Tall, isolated structures are especially vulnerable. To give you a perfect example, the Empire State Building gets struck by lightning dozens of times every single year. If a location provides the easiest, most efficient path to the ground, lightning is going to keep returning to it again and again, regardless of what the old proverb says. Now, for one of the absolute greatest historical lies ever told, the carrot myth. Parents tell children, eat your carrots and you'll see in the dark. The reality? Carrots have vitamin A, which is good for general eye health, sure, but they will not give you bat-like supervision. So where did this even come from? The origin is just incredible. During World War II, the British military developed a secret new radar technology allowing their pilots to shoot down enemy aircraft at night. To hide this technological advantage, they launched a massive propaganda campaign claiming their pilots just ate massive amounts of carrots. The lie worked so beautifully that it completely fooled the world, and parents are literally still repeating military propaganda at the dinner table today. No way, right? Chapter 4: Why Simple Myths Survive. Let's shift our focus from the fun trivia to the profound psychology behind it all. So, the crucial point is, it all comes down to the myth-making brain. These myths don't survive because they're undeniably true. They survive because they sound true. The human brain is just hardwired to crave simple, easily digestible stories. We prefer a neat little narrative about blue blood or water and camel humps or wise owls over the messy, complicated realities of biology, physics, and natural selection. When a fact is easy to remember and easy to tell, our brains latch onto it and completely refuse to let go.
Which leaves us with this final thought. So, what fact will you question next? The next time you hear a piece of common sense repeated over and over again, I challenge you to pause for just a moment. Ask questions. Look a little deeper at the underlying source. Because, as we've seen today, sometimes the things absolutely everyone believes turn out to be completely wrong. And honestly, realizing that is often the most interesting truth of all. Thanks for exploring this with me today, and keep questioning the obvious.